What's going on, people, and welcome to my match recap for yesterday's game. Last night's game, Crystal Palace won, Manchester United won. Should have won the game, threw it away near the end. Silly place to give a free kick, but I don't think any keeper's saving that free kick. It's world class from Elise. Top corner, I don't think anyone saves it. But you shouldn't be giving a free kick away in that sort of area that late on in a game because you're asking for trouble. And they took advantage of it. So I do think we deserve to win the game overall. But before that equaliser from Palace, the last 10-15 minutes of the game, they were really piling the pressure on to try and get that equaliser. And it worked. It's just a shame because I feel like if that free kick hadn't have been conceded there, we would have hung on and grabbed the 1-0. But it is what it is. It felt like a loss yesterday, but after sleeping on it, it's obviously not great going into the Arsenal game now with Casemiro picking up that yellow last night. He is not available for the Arsenal game now, but I can't complain about it too much because I did say in the match preview that I would risk Fred and Casemiro and play both of them despite them being at risk of grabbing another yellow card and missing the Arsenal game. And lo and behold, Casemiro picked up a yellow and he's not available for the Arsenal game, which I think is a massive loss for us. I do still think we could go to the Emirates and get something, but it's going to be a lot tougher now without Casemiro than it would have been with him. So I do think that we've got a bit more of an uphill task now going into that game against Arsenal than we would have because Casemiro won't be available. I think he is that important to us. But I do still think we could get something. So I'm going to remain positive. Obviously, I'm delighted that we grabbed a point instead of losing it yesterday. But it kind of felt like a loss because I feel like we should have got the 3 points. But it's better than getting no points. And I'll take the draw. Hopefully we can get the 3 against Arsenal. But I would also take a draw against Arsenal, how they're playing at their place as well. And now with Casemiro out, I would take a draw in that game. And I have predicted a 2-2 draw for that. But yesterday's game, as I said, I think like the most of the game we probably deserved to win. But saying that as well, De Gea made at least a couple of saves that kept us in the game at times. One tipping it onto the crossbar and another one with a header in close range that he had to still react to very quickly. You could argue that Palace maybe could have nicked it, but I felt like we were comfortable for most of the game. De Gea did make some crucial saves at times to keep us in it, but yeah, it does feel like a loss, to be honest, but I'm not saying we can't go into the Arsenal game and get something, because I do think we can still. It's just without Casemiro, it's tough. Player ratings, De Gea, 7. As I said, made some crucial saves at times, kept us in the game, 7. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I thought had a very good game getting forward. His passing was good. Defensively, I thought he was pretty sound, 7. Varane, 5, had an average game. Didn't get tested a lot for me, and didn't really make any mistakes. Average 5. Martinez came back into the team since the World Cup, like first game starting, and I thought he looked up to the pace. I thought he was good on the ball with passing. I thought he was more involved than Varane was. And for a player to step back in after being out for a while, I think he did well. So 6 for Martinez. Shaw, 7, and was my man of the match. I thought his challenging for 50-50 balls, his reaction to not just watching the ball, but going and attacking the ball and taking the ball by the horns, so to speak, driving the team. I thought he was fundamental in the game yesterday, and for me, he was my man of the match. 7 for sure. Casemiro, 6. Obviously got the yellow, but I do think he had a pretty good game. It's a shame that he's going to be missing for the Arsenal one, but I do think he had a good game yesterday. I'd give him a 6. Eriksen, 5. Obviously got the assist for our goal, but dipped in and out of the game. Couldn't fully be on it for the whole 90 minutes, so it was a bit hit and miss at times. But I think he had an average, so I give him a 5. Antony, 3. I don't see what he offers for us. He loses the ball so much. His decision-making is just not on point on what we need and to the level that we need it. He was arguing with Bruno at one point. That's not what you want to see, especially when you're not performing on your end either. So not seeing it with Antony at the moment, which is a shame because when he first came into the team, scored on his debut obviously, and I thought for the first 2 or 3 games he looked bright. But since then I don't think he's offered anything for us. 3. Bruno, 6, obviously scored the goal, took his goal very well, looked very composed. At times definitely drove the team forward and tried to create things and start moves and be involved in build-up. Then he was the captain, obviously. I thought he had a pretty good game, 6. Rashford, 5, average. Very disappointing from him yesterday. It was the worst game I've seen him have in a number of months, to be honest. His decision-making kind of slipped back to what it was before he hit form in terms of just running into people It looks like he's lost the momentum now, which was a shame because he could have broke the record as well for consecutive goals in games. I think he tied it at least, so yeah, it's still a good achievement, but it was a shame to see him perform like that yesterday because we needed him and he didn't show up yesterday, but he has been tremendous for us recently. So hopefully he can bounce back in the Arsenal game. Average for Rashford with a 5. Weghorst made his debut. Obviously, I was surprised he started. I thought he would come off the bench. He had one chance with a header, which Luke Shaw swinged into the box, and he put it narrowly over the crossbar. But he probably should be hitting the target with that at least. And I felt like he struggled through the game to get involved. He wasn't really involved in any of the build-up. Tried to press off the ball, but didn't really get near it. I don't think he was effective yesterday. I think more will be to come from him, hopefully. But yeah, bit underwhelming. I'd give him a 4. Fred, Garnacho and McTominay come on as the subs. I thought Fred was an average. Garnacho, I would give a 4 because I don't think he impacted like he has in recent games when he's come off the bench. But saying that, in his defence, I think he should be starting these games because I think he's been in form enough and playing well enough to be starting. So I would have started him yesterday, but came off the bench and I don't think he was that effective. 4, but he didn't have a lot of time. So and McTominay comes on the pitch, nearly had a fight with Zaha, scuffling. He does it far too often and has far too much confidence for someone that's such a weak player, in my opinion. He's got the wrong mindset. He hasn't got the ability or the talent to be at Manchester United, in my opinion. And he acts like a big man and like a Don and like he's one of the Cray twins, and I don't see it at all. 3 for McTominay. Ten Hag, I'd give him a 7. I think that we should have won the game. Tactically, I thought he got it pretty spot on. And the players let him down in the end with that poor decision for the free kick near the end. Casemiro now missing the Arsenal game. You could see Ten Hag's frustration. When it panned to him on the sideline, he was shaking his head and looked furious, and I don't blame him. But we nearly come away with 3 points, and I think in form in the league, we're one of the best, if not the best, in first place for form in recent games. So I think he deserves huge credit. We didn't lose yesterday, albeit it feels like a loss. We did grab a point. So I give Ten Hag a 7. Man of the match for me is Luke Shaw, as I said. And watch out tomorrow, guys. I will be dropping my Premier League predictions. So look out for that tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts and ratings in the comments, guys. And don't forget to go and vote on the community tab poll for the next player versus player. If you haven't already voted, it's got a ton of votes already. I appreciate everyone that's supporting them. And I'll catch you guys soon.